New name but same old fortunes for Punjab Kings as their first 4 games in IPL 2021 has just seen 1 win. Time to, of course, bring in the changes, but they already did. So where do they go from here? We'll tell you all about it on Criclytics Man vs Machine.
You're watching Criclytics Man vs Machine.
Yup, if it was Punjab who's filled with dejection today, it was delight for Sunrisers Hyderabad because it was a comprehensive 9-wicket win which they dished out in Chennai, courtesy pretty much that top 3. And we'll break it down, of course, with Mark Butcher right now. Mark will talk about SRH and their batting in just a bit, but Punjab Kings, you've got a feel for them.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's the original idea that you're making changes from a position of weakness, having lost games. You know, they've brought in Moses Enriques and Fabian Allen batting down at sort of number 8, number 9. I still don't think that Chris Gale batting at 3 works particularly. You know, I know why they're trying it, but I don't think if Chris Gale's going to play, for me, he's got to open the innings and try and set the agenda from the top. And of course, they've got, whether you believe the international rankings or not, they've got David Milan, number 1 T20 player in the world, cooling his heels on the bench, and the team is getting is making 120 runs in a 2020 game and getting beaten comprehensively. So they've got problems, and they will have to sort them out pretty quickly.
Yeah, they went in with more batting depth this time by bringing in Moses Enriques and Fabian Allen and leaving out Meredith and, of course, Jai Richardson, but that backfired badly. Let's move on to Sunrisers Hyderabad. Plenty of positives for them. Of course, they chopped and changed, but normally teams at Chepauk capitalize the power play. These two, I mean, they had to put it out there and they did. Were they batting on a different wicket altogether, Butch?
I mean, look, they're 2 very, very fine players, aren't they, Warner and Bairstow? And it also helps when you know that you've got only 120 on the board to chase. You can be a little bit choosy in terms of what you go after. And both of them play spin and quick bowling equally well. I mean, you know, Johnny Bairstow strikes down the ground, big 6s there are fantastic. And it wasn't long, as I said to you, I think, when we were talking about it in the preview, that Warner wasn't going to fail for a 4th time, and that I thought it was very unlikely with a team as potentially strong as Sunrisers Hyderabad that they would lose 4 out of 4. They brought Kane Williamson in, he saw them home, a nice little net for him, and you know, things should look up a little bit for Sunrisers from now on, I think.
Yeah, David Warner was always going to get amongst the runs against Punjab. He thrives against them the most in IPLs. Got a 37, a runner ball 37 if I should add, and Kane Williamson, with him there, it's just obviously a safety net for the first 2 openers to go gung-ho, and they certainly did that. 73 is what they put on. But right now I want to talk about the Criclytics Man vs Machine predictions, because I'm pleased to tell you, Butch, you did fantastically well today, coming away with a 3-1 win against the Criclytics Machine. What do you have to say?
There you go. The worm has turned. Look out, Machine. You're in trouble now, boy.
Yeah, it certainly needs to be cautious going forward because you've crept it back. You're not quite in the lead in terms of the grander scheme of things, but it's neck to neck right now. We'll unfold the predictions right now because you went for David Warner, and there was always going to be runs, like I said, with this man.
Yeah, he likes playing against Punjab. And as I've said before, you know, he's somebody that he went out there and he put it out there that he wasn't happy with his team's batting in the previous defeats, only chasing small totals. And when you do that as a captain, you put pressure on yourself to lead by example. And so he did that today. He got out before the job was done, but by then Bairstow was ticking along beautifully, and I think that there's no problem. There's no likelihood that they were going to collapse like they did in previous run chases. So yeah, I mean, that seemed like a good pick to me.
Yeah, and you also had a backup pick of Mayank Agarwal who got 22, so you're always safe in terms of the batsman contenders. Bowlers, both of you all called it wrong. Criclytics, of course, going for Rashid. You went for Rashid. Economical, all right, but Khalil Ahmed, 3 for 21. What is with the left armers in this tournament, Butch?
Yeah, I know. And it's kind of nondescript left armour as well. He hasn't got any great pace or anything like that. It's just sort of medium pace. A couple of good catches helped him out. and a surface that wasn't among the greatest I've ever seen for a T20 game either.
Yeah, Khalid Ahmed doing fantastically well there, and again they have quite a few pacers in the mix. We got to see Siddharth Kaul bowl, of course, for SRH today, and he bowled superbly well, in particular that first over. Let's move on to the all-rounders, because Criclytics again was going woeful with his predictions by this time. It called Nabi and Holder, both didn't get the nod. You called Vijay Shankar, he bowled one over, he went for 6, he didn't have much to do with the bat. Ultimately, it was Abhishek Sharma, another guy who bowls left arm, but this time spin.
Yeah, and it got the nod in the power play as well. Picked up a couple of wickets, and got Warner and the think tank's plans off to a really good start, didn't they? So left arm is king. Left arm rules.
Yeah, I think the left armers are thriving. There's something about them. What about the wicket keepers? Was it a left-hander? It wasn't a B, because Nicholas Pooran. Before we unfold the winners here, because I think you guys are guessing back home as Johnny Bairstow, it is. But let me give you a fun fact about Nicholas Pooran, Butch. Now, he becomes the second player in IPL history, wait for it, to be dismissed of the first ball duck, second ball duck, and, of course, not even facing a ball in the same season. Can you name the previous player who was in this dubious record?
Oh, my goodness me. First ball duck, second ball duck, and without facing a ball. I cannot begin to think who that unlucky man might have been.
It was actually Shane Keith Warren, believe it or not, in 2009 in the IPL.
Brilliant.
Yes, I mean that's just for the stat savers back home and all you data guys out there who love to digest this kind of stuff. Let's of course tell you about the wicketkeeper, because Bairstow was head and shoulders above everyone else, and it was about time.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, he's somebody that I've picked in past games for Punjab. And look, I think he spent quite a bit of time in India now, so he should be happy with the conditions. And he and Warner have got together a terrific opening stand, haven't they? Over the last 2 or 3 years, they've really, despite the fact that it's Englishman and Australian, their games complement each other extremely well. And he's the sort of guy where if he makes a couple of low scores, that there's an answer coming, because he loves to sort of prove critics wrong, or prove the computers wrong, if you like.
With your English hat on, Butch, with the World Cup around the corner, Johnny Bairstow, would you have him opening, considering he opens in the ODIs but not for England in the T20s? Would you push him up the order?
I think that's his best spot. Yeah, I mean, Roy and Bairstow are among the best 50 over openers in the world ever, not just in this era but in all eras, and it strikes me that would be a better role for him to take forward, although as he proved today and has done in the past, that he's quite capable of looking after himself against the spin in the middle overs, and so England perhaps are gambling that he's good at that, and that they'll leave Josh Buttler up top. Personally, I mean, my view is this with England: nearly everybody in England's T20 side could open the batting and do it very, very well. Very few of them could do what Josh Buttler might be able to do in the middle to late overs when the run chases are on. And so I think that in order to get the best out of everybody, I'd keep Bairstow and Roy together at the top and have Josh come in whenever the game situation demanded it.
Yeah, Bairstow eventually turning out to be a winner for you, which meant that it was 2-1 at this moment in time, and you really took away everything from the machine in the result prediction. It went for Punjab, you went for Hyderabad, then you went 3-1 up. What do you have to say, not just about, of course, Hyderabad's comprehensive win, but your convincing win as well?
Well, I'm going to be extremely modest about it. No, I'm not. Brilliant. I'm back in the game, everybody. And look out, machine. I don't know what it's up to. It's got all of these numbers to crunch and algorithms and stuff to follow, and it doesn't really seem to know what it's doing. So we'll see what happens.
I think Criclytics is gonna hit you hard soon, Butch. I think you should be really wary of the machine, because Brian Charles Lara, of course, was living and dying by that sword, by really poking the machine where it hurt, but it came back to bite him. It was 12-12 in that regard. Hopefully you can outdo Lara in this way. But it's been fun again chatting with you about the post-match. With KKR and KKR and CSK game on, we'll of course touch base with you until then. But of course, it is Punjab's Another day to ponder while Hyderabad can look onwards and upwards. That's all we have in cricket.com. Thanks for watching. More with this man soon. Watch this space.